G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 26 of my Drain Essence Apostate playthrough with Manfred here. Now, last episode we kind of finished up the Ashes of Malmouth here, and actually I'm going to go ahead and clear that bounty because I probably won't be hitting up Tor Exterior anymore. Let's just step away from that. And the reason why is actually over here in the Coven. So at level 94, you get access to all of the max level legendary items. And one of the ones we're going to have access to is this one right here. Now, I don't quite have the reputation needed for this. I'm very, very close. But I also don't have the levels for it. So that's not really the end of the world. And I do need an Ugdenbog Howler, which I also don't have. So let's just have a look. Coven, I'm pretty sure, is just go kill beasties. Coven often starts with a C. Yeah, we can kill some beasts, which basically means one run through the Gloomwald should do it. There are other areas, of course, where you can go in order to kill beasts. But this is my favorite, so I'm going to go right here. We're going to get this done, and then we will get started on Forgotten Gods. And see where we go. Now, that pistol is not the, I guess we'd call it the target weapon for the build, but it will do until we get our hands on that. It is a random drop, obviously, which means it's going to take a little longer to acquire it, but that's kind of okay. So I also need to get an Ugdenbog Howler, which I think I can get from good old Avril Lavigne. Or Avril Lasagna, whatever your preferred nickname is. Got to remember that goop is mine. But I've also got to remember that I still shouldn't stand in it, just in case it isn't. Actually, they're not beasts, so I'm just going to skip them. These guys are also not beasts, which is unfortunate. Okay, I am going to go for a run through here anyway, because I do need the Ugdenbog Howlers. But it's probably not a horrible idea to just double check where they drop as well. I might do that after this quick little run. Okay, you'll do. Definitely take these guys out. Storm Launcher of Altos don't really need, but you know what? It's all bits. We are going to be doing some crafting, so getting some extra bits is not the worst idea. Alright. We've got a hero. Heroes are good. Alder I swear I've killed Alder not too long ago. Anyway, that's fine. Let's check out the spawn location. Yeah, we've got the treasure trove over here, which is good. If I could click the right option, that'd be even better. Bladed plating, not really super useful. This one, I don't think I've ever used this even in a retaliation build. So, I mean, take it for what it's worth, which is not really much, since I've played exactly 2 retaliation builds ever, and one of them was a very early character where I had no idea what I was doing. So, last week. Okay, we've got a repeater. And I don't... Was that Avril that we killed? I think it was just some random hero. Anyway, that's fine. Have I actually killed any beasts yet? I've killed a few. So we are going to get there. Then I'm going to buy the blueprint. I'm going to double check where that pistol drops actually, because I didn't look at the recipe before I started. So I'll see what all we need to get one made. I've still got a level and a half, and actually I'm going to drink an XP pot. There's no point having them and not using them, so may as well. Ugden Bloom's always worth picking up as well. Alright, who's going to be our revered kill? And does it matter? I guess it doesn't really. Alright, these guys might be it. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and pop the treasure trove. And I think at this point we're out of here. Seal of the Void, not really for us, but definitely worth having a look at. Okay, so back to the Coven. Let me bring up the blueprint for the Hex launcher here. Let's go Ugdenbog Howler. And it is dropped by, it says Avarice, but actually I'm not sure if I believe that. Ugdenbog Cannibals, Wendigo, Chosen, and Bloodmancers, Bloodsingers, Wraith Speakers, and then 4 random heroes. Okay. So, Hex Launcher, go. Let's go ahead and eat that. Need Torment, Gluttony, and an Arcane Spark as well. So Torment and Gluttony are going to be other relics. So let's have a look here. Torment, for which I need another Gluttony, and oh dear. Alright, so 2 Gluttonies. And Torment. Yeah, let's go kill Kilrian. Quickest way to farm this guy is with a Skater, but I'm not playing a Skater, so we're just going to run down there and kill him. This is all XP as well, so all the undead that I'm going to be, well, mowing down, I'll say, but all the undead that I'm going to be skipping past in here is also XP. Priests. I'm going to make a point of killing the priests, let's be honest. The priests are evil and they must be destroyed. Also, I swear I just hit the button to teleport there and it didn't go through. Okay, there we go. We seem to be teleporting again. So I want to get down to the next level. Honestly, I really don't care so much about these guys. How is the Rovers, actually? Rovers are halfway through Honored, so yes, more reputation for them is welcome. But 1 at a time on random white monsters is probably not worth really worrying about. There are definitely much better ways to farm that reputation. 1 run through the Steps of Torment should pretty much do it. Let's bring this trap here. Yep, there they are. Okay, and actually this door being open is a good thing, because that means I can skip over here. I want to get up to this little section here. We're only here for Kilrian. Unfortunately, if he doesn't drop his soul, I am actually going to have to waste most of that XP pot, which I'm not looking forward to. Can make some use of it at least, and do this totem. Amarast and Pauldrons. Spellweave, Leg Wraps, these might be okay, maybe? More of an elemental thing. Rift Warped Grasp, okay. These are our forever gloves. So if you find these gloves, I know they are Vitality and Chaos damage at the top there, but +2 to Drain Essence and +2 to Decomposition is things we're using, and 1,250 flat Vitality on top of Drain Essence is godlike. Now, the question is, what happens to my resistances? Unfortunately, nothing is the answer. So, Forever Gloves acquired, which is very nice. And actually, that's going to boost my damage by a fair bit. So if I go over here to Drain Essence, it's just a casual, like, 40% damage boost. You know, no big deal. I am going to go ahead and swap that component over as well. The Runic Braces, is it? Yeah, the Runic Braces are decent, especially if you can get that physical resistance to proc at the start of every fight, which is really when you need it. But just having all of that extra flat damage is so good. So I was making kind of complaining noises about the damage a little while ago. I think I just solved that. We'll see, I guess. It's still not amazing, but it's definitely not bad. Gauntlets of Ignifar I don't really need, but I'll pick them up. It's all bits. Treasure trove down there. Okay, I shouldn't be doing this. But it's so hard to say no. Let's pop this, pop this. The other thing as well, and the reason I'm not going to destroy this to put on that pistol once I've already made it, is I'm kind of halfway expecting it to just annoy me with randomly shooting at objects as I walk past them. So we'll see how it goes. And that pistol is not the end target, I guess. The pistol itself is +1 to Arcanist skills, so it's more of a spellbinder thing than an apostate. Alright, no priests over there. I'm happy. Alright, Kilrian. Your soul is mine. Channel my inner Ravager. He is actually dying decently quickly for a leveling character. It's not too bad. There we go. And of course, no soul. Soul? No soul. Definitely no soul. That is unfortunate. Okay, we can try and burn through some more of this. What do we call this? XP pot. By killing more of these guys. So, Javos Bone Splitter is, at least according to Grimtools, one of the characters, or one of the heroes that can drop the Ugnenbog Howler. He didn't this time, which is somewhat annoying. But they do have several different MIs, so you're not going to get it every time. Also, heroes have an increased rate, not a guaranteed. According to Grimtools, Avarice should be guaranteed. Having said that, I don't remember ever seeing her drop one, so that may be incorrect. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Just getting healed. Whoever's doing the healing needs to stop. Alright, and down she goes. Alright, turns out I was wrong, and she does drop them. So, there we go. Now, I'm only missing Kilrian's soul at this point. I guess technically I'm missing a level as well. Mythical Soul Blade. Let's turn that off. And I'm pretty sure at least one of these is going to be not mine, so I don't want to stand in those. Soul Blade, we're looking at fire damage, so no. Haggaradian Enforcer is cold, so again, no. What do we got? Absolution, don't care. Runefather's Gem, also don't care. And Shard of Command is pet stuff. So, nope. Okay, we'll just pick all this up. And go ahead and sell it all. And definitely want to be eating the... I thought this was the, the Riftwarp Grasps again. Definitely want to be eating the blueprints. This is a cool model. The actual weapon itself is not something I'm interested in using, but the appearance of it is kind of cool. Okay, so I've got everything, unfortunately, except for Kilrian Soul. Now, the good news is that Kilrian Soul is decently high drop chance. The bad news, of course, is that it's like 30%, so 1 in 3-ish. Which is not terrible considering the, for example, the Alchemose rings are like 2%. And used to be a lot rarer as well. Yes, you will. Probably. And I'm out of dynamite. So let's go ahead and fix that. Any of the Legion Smiths can make dynamite. So old mate here should be able to do it, no problem. Also, when you go to Hiram here, you can just buy Aether Crystals, or in this case, Aether Shards. So sometimes you can fund your dynamite at least a little bit like that. 60 should be more than enough. Alright, so we need Kilrian, which means not Twin Falls, we want Broken Hills. You can go in through Twin Falls, maybe hit the totem on the way there, get your Rover's reputation up a little bit quicker, but honestly, Rover's rep is not usually something I care about all that much. It's not nothing, but it's also not particularly all that much. The other gloves I was looking at actually is Aether Reach, just to completely change the subject. I was looking at those as well. They are more Aether coded, but I think the Rift Warped Grasps are a little better. And I think I may just start leaving a lot of the rares on the ground now. One other thing about the pistol that we're about to get is that it has a very high, at least it can roll very high on the vitality to Aether conversion, and it's going to give you 100% vitality to Aether conversion as well. So we probably don't need to use the chest anymore, or if we do, we're pretty much guaranteed 100% vitality to Aether conversion. So at the moment, if you look here, I still have some flat vitality there that's not converted. You'll never be able to convert the decay because Aether damage doesn't have a damage over time version, so there's nothing to convert it to. But you can still convert the rest of that flat vitality, and that's probably worth, I don't know, another 3,000 or 4,000 damage per second. So definitely not nothing. Good, we've got the faster route here. Got the good spawn. And I think if I don't get Kilrian's soul this time, I may pause the recording and just run him again. Because I definitely want to get that before we start on Forgotten Gods, but I also don't want to spend an entire episode farming. Although having said that as well, you guys have often told me that you prefer to see the farming, so maybe I won't. Maybe this will just end up being a farming episode. We'll see how we go. It shouldn't take more than another 1 or 2 kills anyway. At least in theory. Boots with... no. Arcane Blaze. If you can get a full set of armor with Arcane Blaze, plus jewelry with Arcane Blaze, you can kick out some pretty silly amounts of those little bolts. Alright, I'm going to check over here for the treasure trove. I didn't actually look over there, so I hope it wasn't there. Either way, I don't think I'm going back for it. Let's kill Kilrian. Also, only getting 1 skill point per level above level 90, so that's not ideal. What was I putting him into? I know I put a whole bunch into Ill Omen, but that's maxed out. I think you can deadly aim. Probably should just leave that at 4, but that's fine. Alright, everybody's nice and dead. Let's go say hi to Kilrian. Alright, that priest needs to die before he heals him. And give me your soul. Did he drop it? I don't know. Let's have a look in my inventory. Yes, he did. There it is. Okay. So 1 out of 3. Looks like I got pretty much the average value. Pop the heroic chest and leave all the greens on the ground. Yeah, no treasure trove here. That's fine. Because I want to go craft myself a new pistol that I can't use yet. So, in terms of the range, I guess, we need Torment, don't we? In terms of the range on the conversion for the Vitality to Aether, it's 36 to 54. Now, I'm sitting on 52 there, so if I get a high roll, I don't need Galacros Dread Plating anymore, and I could maybe use the other Galacros Plating for +3 to Inquisitor Seal is an option. Here we go, Hex Launcher. I sold the gun, didn't I? That's really annoying. Okay, well, I can make the Arcane Spark. There we go. And we'll go find Avarice. That's really annoying. It's completely in fitting with my nature, but it's really annoying. Alright, I'm going to be skipping this stuff. The totem's there as well. Alright, I'm not skipping it. I'm going to go do it. We're definitely at the point now where any kind of farming is worth doing just to get the a chance at the level 94 legendaries. The Ouroboros set can drop now. And rare crafting stuff is kind of always good to get your hands on. Boots of Primordial Rage. I don't think is really what I'm after. They're not pets, are they? No, it's 8th damage, and actually, I take it all back. They're really, really good. Let me actually have a look at the, oh, we want Wraith Walkers. They'll do for a little while anyway. An extra +2 to the main skill would not go awry. Okay, Night Hunter's Chest Guard, Dreadwalker's Cowl. And actually, you know what? I'm going to turn rare items off at this point. I'll leave Monster Infrequents on, and I'll always show double rares. But I don't think I need to see rare items anymore. I swear this set is everywhere. It's probably because I've trained myself to look for it more than anything else, but I still see that set pretty much every time I'm playing a character above level 40 or so. Or 35, really. Okay, do you have... Balia Everthirst, do you have a pistol? Yes, you do. Alright, good, we're done. Okay, once more with the ingredients, let's actually go make that pistol. Not that it doesn't really matter, because I can't use it yet. Alright, did we roll high or did we roll low? We rolled low. Actually, quite low. Don't have enough cunning either. See, this is where you save your attribute points. Having said that, if I dump 15 in here, it's still not enough. That's okay. We can find some items with cunning on them. May have to lose some skill points here, but it'll be fine. Could also just completely respec the skill points. So we do have attribute potions. I've only got one, but there are at least 2 more quests I can do to get more of these. And you can actually craft them at some point. Where are they? You can craft them. It may need a specialized blacksmith. I've never had to craft them before, though, because I just have piles of them in the bank. Right, so we've got the gun that we can't use, which is good. Let's just chuck that there. I do actually have a feeling that, even though I definitely want to use this, also that Vitality to Aether damage on Drain Essence is 100%, so converting the other stuff is still important because of Spectral Wrath, but it's not super duper important. Alright, let's get started on Forgotten Gods. So I've got my little pistol crafting thing out of my system now. Let's go talk to Old Mate here. Now, originally I was expecting crafting that pistol to be as simple as just buy the blueprint, craft it, and then get into Forgotten Gods. So I was expecting to pretty much be halfway done with the expansion by this point. But it does look like this is going to be taking 2 episodes to get through. Which is fine. Okay, I will speak with them. And who do I want to join? Bismail is good because it has the fastest quest line. And they are also the lowest reputation. So I believe I will be doing Bismail. And by believe, I mean I'm definitely doing Bismail. It's a much faster quest, and it's also the one I should do based on reputation, so it all just kind of works out. Alright, let's talk to Elaine here. We will get what you need, no problem. We can ignore good old Riggs there for the moment. And Anorak's brothers, we can do that quest as well. Okay, so level 93. I'm not in any massive hurry to get that pistol. I did have kind of an idea that I would try it at 94. I also kind of had the idea that I will try it, hate it, and end up swapping back to this anyway. And it's not going to be the end, I guess, weapon. We're looking at the Wrath of the Ascendant for the kind of forever weapon. Having said that, if you've got any other ideas, let me know. Because at the moment, I just threw together something that looked pretty good. And I'll have to sit down and actually nut out a proper build. I don't think anyone's really done Ouroboroc's Drain Essence Apostate, at least not for a while. So I'll probably have to actually make something myself. That said, if you have any better ideas, throw them in the comments. YouTube won't actually let you comment links. So if you have a Grim Tools you would like me to have a look at, go ahead and chuck in the code at the end without the grimtools.com part. And I'm sure I'll be able to figure out what the code means. Having said that, it's kind of on me to make a build, so we'll see how we go. Okay, we can definitely book it through here. A lot of this stuff, yeah, it's definitely worth killing, but it's also kind of not at the same time, if that makes sense. Rune Ward may be good to use just for the, yeah, the prismatic shield thing again. I think there's a couple items that have that. I think you can get it on shoulders as well. So gloves, shoulders, pants. Maybe you could, if you somehow manage to get the proc timing correct, could potentially have that up all the time. Alright, Blood of the Watchers you can get from this temple. However, there are other places you can get it, and skipping that temple does save an entire dungeon worth of time. So I am going to skip it. I'm also going to skip the super secret hidden area back here. And as long as I am going to be killing a whole bunch of stuff and turning in a bunch of quests, we may as well use the XP pots as well. Channeling Orb of the Covenant. Let me pick that up. Is that pet stuff? I feel like that's pet stuff. Yeah. Turn the loot off so I can see what's going on here. Mr. Arcane here, I really don't want you to strip all of my buffs. Alright, we're gonna have to dodge an orb. There it is. Cool. There we go. This is why I don't like healers. Especially not on channeling builds. Alright, Trollheart Waistguard. We've got a double drop, unfortunately, so that can stay on the floor. Earth Splitter. Not really for this build, is it? Alright, we'll stuff them into the rift, and time to continue on. Now, at this point in the game, 5-ish million bits, or I guess 4 million bits, I'm kind of not really super focused on bits. The reason why is that I'm not planning on doing huge amounts of crafting for this character. In fact, I'm not planning on doing any crafting at all, unless I find the blueprint for the helmet, for the Ouroboros set, before I find the whole set. Which is possible. That's definitely a thing that can happen. But unless it does, I don't think I'm planning on doing pretty much any crafting aside from components. Vestments of the Great Guardian. Nope. Poison stuff. So I don't need huge amounts of bits for that. I don't really buy blueprints, even, for things that I'm not going to be specifically using, because I already have all my level 100s on one save, and I have every blueprint because I've played this game for way too long. So I don't need the bits for that. Runebound Topaz is really good. Chuck this on your rings. Extra health. More importantly, stun duration resistance. Shield damage block, I mean, yeah, I guess it exists. Not something we're focusing on. I know I have a shield, but this is not a block build. Alright, so the Watchers you can also find, in addition to being in the temple of, what's this, Osea? In addition to being in there, you can find them in the docks up ahead here. Which is good, because that's where I'm going to get them from, so that means I don't have to do the Temple of Osea. Shall we fight Caligadra? Is this the character I found one of the spawn things on? I can't remember. Let's see if it'll let me. Nope, don't have the thing. Good. so I'm not tempted to waste it by summoning her and having to run away. Or him. Is Caligadra male or female? It sounds like a female name. I guess it doesn't really matter. She identifies as an ass-kicking. Right, so I was heading up the back there just out of kind of habit because the devotion shrine, but actually I think I don't need any more devotion points, do I? I do, however, need the watches, and there's one. You can find the watches in the back, sort of left-ish corner. So there's at least one more up here. There it is. And at this point, we're practically standing on top of that that totem and the devotion shrine, which is basically a weak totem anyway. So, I mean, it would be rude not to, right? Alright, turn the loot off so as I can see what's going on. This arcane guy, fortunately, has died a little bit easier than the last one. What do we win? The Rift-Torn Greaves. No. Berserker's Cowl can stay on the ground. Alright, Vulcan Axe. One of these guys... I swear this thing normally spits out a... healer. How's my vitality resist? Yeah. Okay. What does this need? Survivor's Perseverance, which I don't have on me, but it is a Devil's Crossing. Augment. So let's go ahead and keep that item, because I'm running out of energy, so I want the Ghostly Essence thing. I don't actually need questions, do I? Alright, Perseverance, wasn't it? There we go. Let's go ahead and chuck that on here. And we're good. So that's another attribute reset potion. I think we're good. Once I get... Actually, you know what? Let's have a look here. Wrathstone can... That's pretty easy to craft. Scarab Shell. Put that on there. I am just going to completely respec and change to the gun. Wrathstone. Boom. Can't go on there, actually. Okay, how about a Seal of Corruption? Where are we? Seal of Corruption. I'll take one of those. There we go. That will give me an extra skill that I could use, but I probably won't. I already have too many buttons as is. And I'm going to keep this potion on me as well to reset once I actually hit level 94. Okay, I do still need one more Watcher, and there should be one just over... There it is. There should be one just over here, I was about to say. There's my Blood of the Watchers, and actually, we'll go to the Rift. I was going to say, let's go turn that quest in, and then we can hit level 94 from the quest, and just sort of do all my respecking in town. Which I might do anyway. I don't need another Blood of the Watchers, so I'm just going to leave that on the floor. And you're a hero, so we're going to kill you. Okay, back to town. So the Bismail guys are going to give me another quest, which is their little pocket dimension, which I will do. However, attributes all gone. Right. What do I need to actually equip this? 534 spirit. Am I going to get a huge amount of spirit from one of these pieces of gear? No. So, spirit. 534. There we go. We need 600 physique, 600 physique. Yep, 602 physique. There we go. And then, was it 515? 511 cunning. There we go. All right, so the rest of that, I think, plenty of health, defensive ability. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. People yell at me if I don't put some points in for defensive ability, though. There we go. We've got some defensive ability. Can still be crit, but yeah, it's fine. All right, so Drain Essence, 17.7 thousand, and then 13,000 of that is Aether. It's all Aether now, and it's 20,000. So it's actually not a massive increase, but it is an increase. And now I'm going to go in here and turn Move to Breaks Object off. Actually, I'll show you why first. Let's go back to the docs here. Because this is going to drive me absolutely batty. Let's go find some things to click on. There's a lot of chests. I haven't found any clickable, breakable things. Alright, easier way of doing this. Let's go back to Act 1. They've got a lot of little piles of bones and stuff you can shoot or otherwise attack to open. So there's a crate, right? Now, let's say you're just walking along the ground, or along the road, and, okay, you mouse over the crate, and your character stops to shoot. Well, that's mildly annoying, but, you know, you hit the crate one time and it's gone. But what if it happens to be inside of a building? You can't ever get rid of it. And so you have to keep constantly moving your mouse around, or spam click to move. You can see why that would be annoying, I hope. And this is why I don't tend to use pistols at all. I also wasn't expecting the damage increase to be quite that big. This is 3,000 DPS, so what's that, like 15%, something like that? I was expecting less. Oh, that's not good. More armor, more offensive, more defensive, better resistances. 10% more conversion. All I lose is the proc. Yeah, I would be silly not to. Yeah, so I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is, but it's entirely possible that I'm going to swap that back at some point. Don't have enough spirit. I'm literally 4 short. Okay. This is an easy fix, because we can just drop that down to 4, put that up there, and now I can equip that helmet. No augment, which is good. And then these pants, I think, unfortunately, are out of reach. And that's kind of okay. The only thing I really love about them is the armor, so that'll be fine. Right, let's go get my prismatic diamond back. And then we can start the other Bismail section, or the other Bismail quest in their little pocket dimension. Keep the add-on. There we go. So we're up to, I mean, pretty much the same, let's be honest. Overseers does mean I get my chest component back, which I could put a, what is it, corrupted skull on it? Let's see. Keep the item. There we go. Still at 100% on armor absorption because of the Overseers prefix here. You'll see just above the elemental resist percentage, it has increased armor absorption 26%. So we get a chest component back. I could put Kilrian Soul in there actually, and then between 52, 37, and 35%, Kilrian Soul would be Fire and Aether. And then we've got some Fire to Aether conversion here as well. So another Kilrian Soul in the chest is actually, I think I've talked myself into it. I do want that. So between episodes, I will probably go and farm Kilrian a couple more times. Because, yeah, I like damage. I think I'm tanky enough. Health is a bit low, though. Alright, was there anything else? Yes, we will track down the creature. Let's jump on in. Alright, we can just get through here. Now, you can absolutely stop and kill all this stuff. It is worth reputation with the Eldritch Abominations, I think they're called. Where are they? Eldritch Horrors. But, you know, white and yellow monsters, it does add up, but they don't provide a whole lot on their own. I think it's 1 and 2 points for white and yellows. What we're here for, though, is good old Galfang. And the witch cults, specifically the Bismail people. That was a little scary. The Bismail people want the core of Galfang, so we are going to provide. I think I'm going to hang on to my little heal there. So while I wasn't standing in the seal, that actually hurt. Hurt a lot. I think I saw my health below half, which is not ever something I want to be saying. Alright, and next quest we need is... I guess we can rescue the brothers. So I'll have to go back here. Which is fine. Lots of new things to kill here. Okay, and if I just go up these stairs, should be fairly close. In fact, I am very close because it's right there. Treasure trove in here? No. It's that lore node as well. I probably should go back and get that, but I'm also probably not going to. Alright, here's RL. Anorak sent me. Yep, absolutely. Let's head in. So there is a devotion shrine in here, which is basically just a weak totem in terms of rewards now, since I no longer care about devotion points. There is an exalted stash in here, which is potentially really good, but probably it's kind of whatever. And there is the boss at the end. Well, there's the exalted stash, so that makes that nice and easy. Devil tongue, nice pistol, fire damage. Not really something I'm super interested in. In fact, I'm not interested at all. Alright, and we agree to kill the boss. Will I do the devotion shrine? I probably will. I'm not expecting anything great out of it, but it is still kind of a totem. Kind of. So I will go ahead and kill it. Let's go ahead and turn that on now. Turn the loot off so I can't be blinded by the shiny. Alright, Seal of the Night, Mythical Havoc, that'll do. Havoc is another gun. See, even the game's telling me I should play a pistol build. I'm seriously tempted by a Chaos Pistol Pyromancer, but I have no idea if it's going to be any good at all. So it's going to be one of those playthroughs where I'm like, massive caveat at the start. If you're not confident, don't do this. And then I'm going to be seeing how good those Chaos Pistols are. Alright, honored with Bismail. Lovely. My energy was getting low anyway, so having a nice little break here. That pistol kind of looks like a torch. Alright. Falanestra, let's go ahead and buy that one. Do we get anything else? White Lotus is a pretty good belt. Circuit Breaker on the belt is not a bad thing. Health, 3 resistances. Max resist and 7% for 2 is pretty good as well. I think I'm going to keep the conversion here. Although 35 plus another 37, what's that, 72%, probably could get away with changing that, or even getting a +1 skills belt would not be a bad idea either. That'll be fine. Now we just run all the way back across town to get back to the rift. There it is. Let's jump in. Alright, another. It's just the one, mate. Okay, so old mate here starts with his little blue shotgun thing, which you definitely don't want to Shadow Strike into and take the whole thing in your face when you're level 20 and have like 40% cold res. That's going to be a bad time for you. Very bad time, actually. Alright, down he goes. Loot is actually turned on, so he just dropped me a bunch of rare items, which, I mean, who cares? So that's Anorak done. Let's head on over to the Vanguard of the Three. I will get the transmuting book on the way. I think I'm going to skip the temple here. There's no real need to do it. It does, I guess, have a devotion shrine and a totem. I think it has a totem. That'll be fine. That is several heroes, which I want to kill. Lovely. And I'll pop that open. The one downside to turning off the click to open things, now you have to hold shift to shoot the boxes. Alright, here is my book, so now I can transmute on ultimate. And next job is just get to the Vanguard. For anyone who doesn't really care to watch the trip there, this will be the end of the episode once I get there. So you're probably not going to miss much if you have other stuff to do. Having said that, if you want to give me more ad revenue, then by all means stay. And also there, I mean, something could happen. Having said that, I don't think there will be anything extra. Do see that totem up there is probably going to get skipped. So that's going to be next to sort of top left corner of the... what's this next area called? Is it still Sunbane Oasis? Yeah, I'm definitely skipping that totem. That's fine. Let's get some Skelly boys on the go. Why not? Ganavakar, do I care? Probably should kill him, but I'm also not going to. Poison res is 80%, which is enough, but he does hit pretty hard and he sunders. There's literally no benefit for me killing him, so I think I'll just pass on that one. Let's go this way. I usually take the bottom route through this Howling Chasm, and it almost never matters, but I definitely do normally hug the bottom. Alright, we got a bad doggy here, Steeljaw. So, no biscuits for you. Why can't I cast Ill Omen? There we go. I was trying to cast that on him for pretty much his entire health bar, and it just was not casting. Alright, do we get the other bad doggy? That is the question. And the answer appears to be no, so he would have been here by now. I am, however, going to hit that hidden stash just up here. So we're going to turn into a mountain goat and go climb the wall. Get the hidden spoils. Twilight's Veil, amazing. And we'll leave the rares on the ground. Alright, we have successfully made it in approximately the right amount of time. So let's grab this rift here. I'm going to eat my conversation pie, pick up a few extra quests. However, that is going to be the end of the episode. Turtle shall reach maximum rank. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you all very much for watching, and goodbye for now.